So, thank you for joining me on this week's episode of The Lipstick Lesbian. Now, before we get into this week's topic, I just want to say thank you to each and every single one of you. My channel has officially hit 4K plus subscribers, and it's such a humbling experience because, believe it or not, a lot of people can't even break 150 subscribers. But I embarked on this journey, and I'm just continuing to grow and to learn about myself, and you guys are actually here with me. That means the world to me. You know, whether you've been here from the beginning, you subscribed recently, or you're just somewhere in between, it still means the world to me. I wouldn't have a platform if you guys didn't give it to me. So please understand that I'm coming to you grateful and appreciative, and you know, I just, I'm amazed, honestly. I'm amazed, and when I seen it, I was lost for words. Um, if you watched my last video, the Q&A, then you know that I am changing things up and I'm flipping a script and I'm trying something completely different. I am about to give you a 3-part story time. Why is it 3 parts? Because it's that fucking epic. I mean, just for some background, when I was 20, I was in a relationship with somebody that was older, and I was cheating on her with somebody else that was also in a relationship. Hence the reason why this is called the Sidechick. Now, at 20, I was wild and reckless, but at 30, I don't condone cheating. But now I can actually look back in the past and say I understand why I was doing some of the things that I was doing, that I had a lot of behavioral problems, and it all stemmed from me being a part of the LGBTQ community. At 15, I came out of the closet and I felt like an outcast. I felt like the black sheep of my family. I felt like something was wrong with me, and I was searching for stuff in other people that I didn't see in myself. I was searching for love that I felt as though I wasn't getting at home. And this is the reason why I'm telling you this. You know, this story is full of drama and full of twists and turns, and it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. But it's also full of life lessons. A lot of you reach out to me, and like I say you relate to what I'm saying. So I'm hoping that for my younger viewers and my younger subscribers, you hear this and you understand what I'm saying and you understand where I'm coming from. I can't tell you not to do things, but I can tell you to take heed to warning signs. I can tell you to, step out of your body for a second, take a breather, and look at the situation you're in. Look at the situation you're about to enter, and understand that the decisions that you make affects yourself as well as it affects others. And so, with no further ado, when I was 19, I was in a relationship. I had my own apartment. I worked full time. And the girl that I was dating, she was having problems with her mom. Now, like I said, I've seen red flags, and I just completely tossed all of that to the wind. I allowed her to come stay with me. She wasn't helping me with no bills. She wasn't helping me put food on the table. She wasn't helping me with anything. She was just there. She would get paid and go out and party, and, I would be the responsible one sitting at home. Well, she ended up cheating on me. And because she cheated on me, I kicked her out in the middle of a snowstorm at 5 o'clock in the morning. Do I think it was right? Hell fucking yeah, I think it was right. Bitch, I gave you a place to live. What is wrong with you? But, I don't understand. So because I went through that whole situation, I decided that I needed to be single. I didn't want to be with anybody. I didn't want to be tied to anybody. I didn't want to enter that situation that I was in. I met this girl. We'll call her Judy. So I met Judy, and she seemed like she was cool, and she told me she, dealt with women, and I was like, all right, whatever. But I let her know from the beginning, I'm not your girlfriend. I'll never be your girlfriend. I don't want to be your girlfriend. This is fun, and let's enjoy it while it lasts, because this shit won't last forever. I promise you that. It was fun, and I did enjoy it while it lasted. But the problem was is that she overstepped her boundaries. I told her not to come to my apartment, and she showed up and she stood at my door for 2 hours. I don't even know how she got in the building. 2 hours calling my phone till I took it off the hook and freaking like just knocking at my door, yelling my name. It was so embarrassing. What is wrong with you? I later on found out that I was the first girl she dealt with. Great. I don't know if it's just me, but I do see that sometimes when it's the first woman, girls get really giddy and they just get clingy. And so I felt like I was her science experiment, and I never ever wanted to be that. So I washed my hands of that whole situation. Once again, I'm back to being by myself. I'm not dealing with nobody whatsoever. It's just me, myself, and I worked full time, like I said, and this was 10 years ago, so cell phones was a little bit different. I would browse on my phone and stuff like that, but major things, when I would get off of work, I would go to the library and I would handle emails or, update resumes, whatever else I needed to do. I did at the library. So I'm leaving the library one day and I noticed that this chick in her car is checking me out. I don't know if it's something that all femmes do, but I know I do it. If I want you to know that I'm interested or, that I'm peeping you, I give off vibes. It could be a look, it could be a smile, something I said, a touch, something. But I wanted to let her know that I was interested. And she got the hint and she double backed around the block and she came and she talked to me and we exchanged numbers and we started busting it up. Now, like I said, I knew I didn't want to be in a relationship, so she was older than me, but I just figured, fuck it, I'm not gonna give her no disclaimer. Like, it is what it is. Uh, we started kind of dealing with each other. We were dating and, just basically having fun. Now, once again, I knew I didn't want to be in a relationship. And she would ask me to be her girlfriend, and I would tell her, no, I don't want that. I'm not ready for no relationship. Well, one day she comes to pick me up from my apartment, and we're going out to dinner. And she's like, I got a present for you. So I'm like, oh, okay. What you got? She pulls out this little bag, and it's burgundy. And I looked at it, and I looked at her, and I said, I can't accept that. I'm not taking it from you. No, take it back. I'm not accepting it. I don't want it. If you're wondering what was in the bag, it was a white gold diamond necklace. Yep. With a certificate of authenticity to match. I knew the diamond store she had got it from because it's very popular. It's a chain of them. And when I seen the bag, I was like, oh, hell no. I almost felt like she was trying to buy me, and I just wasn't up for it. I would sit and I would talk to my best friend at the time, and she would be like, why don't you just give her a chance? Just, get in a relationship with her and see how it goes. And I'm like, girl, no, no, no. She would go out and she would buy me more stuff, and, we were messing around for a couple months at this point in time. I should have never did it, but I went ahead and did it anyway. She asked me to be her girlfriend, and I said yes. And I never wanted to be with her. I feel like an asshole now saying it, but it's true. I never wanted to fucking be with her, ever. First of all, she was attractive, but she wasn't the best looking. Her personality was like so mellow, and I need some type of excitement. So everything that I knew that I like wasn't fully for, it was all present in her, and yet I still got into a relationship. Eventually, what ended up happening was she actually asked me to move in with her. Now, this is the thing. At 19, I'm sorry, by this time I was 20. So at 20, this was the perfect situation for me. She was paying all my bills. She wanted me to come live with her. She didn't want me to work. And she like balled out on me. Every other weekend, I was getting my hair, my nails, my eyebrows, and my feet done. And then the opposite weekend, she would take me shopping. I was like, oh, I feel like a fucking Stepford wife. This is the life. This is the shit. But this is the thing. She didn't want me to have a job. Why would you not want somebody to have a job? It was always, well, I pay the bills, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. But believe it or not, that's a form of control. That means that anything I want to do or anywhere I want to go has to go through her. And in the beginning, it was perfect. It was really, really perfect. It was everything. But later on down the road, her true colors will start showing. Um, Everything was great. I met her family. By the way, I'm going to call her Linda. So I met Linda's family, but she wasn't out the closet. So I was just this friend that was always around. Now I actually genuinely liked her. I actually started to care about her. So for me, it's just why do you bring me around and you're clearly a stud. If your family can't tell that I'm your wifey or whatever the fuck you want to call me, they got issues. Like, come on, you look at the way you dress, look at your demeanor, your masculinism. Like, it's all there, it's all there. Whatever. That was cool. We did go out on a double date with her cousin. Now, this is probably about 4 months in by this time. Her cousin was living a double life. Her cousin had a husband, kids, and a cat at home. But she also had a girlfriend that she was madly in love with. And because the family was super religious, she just couldn't leave her husband, and she just didn't want to deal with that. So she just lived a double life. And it was cool. It was great. I mean, we had dinner, we had wine, we had great conversation. We played a couple of games. But when we left, my girlfriend was like pissed the fuck off. And I'm like, yo, what's up with you? Like, I don't understand. Why are you so angry? You seem like you was cool. So she tells me that her cousin told her that girls like me don't go for women like her. I'm too pretty for her. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? I wasn't using her for nothing whatsoever. And I feel like that's what her cousin was aiming towards. The thing about it is that, like I said, I genuinely started to like her and I genuinely started to care about her. Like, we actually had a decent relationship. So I kind of knew that I had no place in her family whatsoever. One of her brothers, I met him. He didn't like me. And I can admit that I'm a little standoffish sometimes when you meet me, but once I open up, I'm a half decent person. He never gave me a chance whatsoever. So, like I said, in my mind, it's like, all right, stay clear of the family. I don't just, want to be around them. I'll just stay isolated. Mind you, she met my mom, and, my mom was cool with her. My mom knew that she was 10 years older than me, and, she was just like, well, you're a grown woman. If that's what you want to rock out with, if that's who you want to be with, then, that's your business. It's all cool. Just be careful. Whatever, that's fine with me. Um, I will say that what eventually started to happen was I became lonely. We lived in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I didn't know anybody out there. I didn't know none of the neighbors. This was a really, really nice place that we lived in, but I was secluded. I didn't work, so I didn't have any real interaction other than talking to my friends on the phone or getting online and talking to people online. That was it. She worked two jobs. So when I would wake up in the morning, she would be gone. When I would go to sleep at night, she would be gone. So it was just always me by myself. Um, this caused conflict in our relationship because I would constantly tell her, like, treat me like I'm really here. Like, treat me like I'm a girlfriend. Like, you don't have to work 24/7. Like, take time off sometimes. Like, be with me. Like, just be with me. Like, let's go out and let's have fun and let's go to the movies and stuff like that. And the thing about it is that she never heard me. Like I said, the only time we spent together is when she was taking me to the salon, taking me shopping, every once in a while in the middle of the day, she may stop home on a break, but she would always be home for like, 5, 10 minutes, and then she would rush off to her next job for the next 8 hours. So for me, it just became very, very tiresome that I was always here by myself. Why am I always here by myself? So I started inviting friends up, and they would come every so often. Um, like I said, I don't condone cheating, and please don't judge me, but I didn't cheat on her with just one woman. I cheated on her with two. The first one was with an ex-girlfriend. Now, this is some wild shit, and I don't know who in their right mind at the age of 30 would fall for this shit, but my ex-girlfriend came up and I introduced them, and whatever. She was at work and we chilled all day, and when she went to her second job, um, you know, we started reminiscing about the past. And it was just this whole conversation about things that we used to do and the type of shit that we used to get into. And in my mind, I'm just thinking like, damn, my ex is really sitting here on the couch with me while my girl is at work. First of all, she's my ex-girlfriend. Why would you ever in a million years allow me to bring her into the home that you provided for me? Like, that shit's off limits. That doesn't even make sense to me. I'm a lesbian. Like, it's not like it's an ex-boyfriend. No, I'm a lesbian. So later on that night, after my girlfriend came home, Linda, my ex, and we'll call her Amber. Me, Amber, and Linda were all busting it up or whatever, and we were talking and whatnot, and I was laying on Linda, and Amber was completely fine with it. But then Linda got tired, and she wanted to go to sleep. So I was like, all right, well, we just gonna watch the rest of the movie and then I'll come in. That didn't happen. See, Linda had a pool table in her living room. And me and Amber fucked on the pool table. It started on the couch and it made its way to the pool table. And then I cleaned myself up and I went in the room and I went to sleep. And I woke up in the morning, and of course, Amber was still there because, like I said, we lived in the suburbs and the trains weren't running. Not at this time. So, Linda got up and she got washed and dressed and she went to work, and she was just like, she's going home today, right? And I was like, yeah. So after she left, I got in the shower. But before I got in the shower, I woke Amber up and was like, come take a shower with me. So we fucked in the shower too. We had sex quite a few different places. And I think for me, getting into that situation was all about the attention. This was my ex-girlfriend. I was with her because I was obviously attracted to her. And, I allowed myself to be in that crazy situation. Why? I have no fucking clue. I knew it was wrong. I damn sure know it's wrong now, but I knew it was wrong then. And yet I did it anyway. And not only did she spend one night, but she spent 2 nights. When Linda came home, she was like, yo, she's still here. And I'm like, yeah, she's still here. She's leaving in the morning, I promise. We're going to get her on the first train, It's just so lonely up here that, we've been catching up. catching up on sex. That's what we were catching up on because that's what we were doing all day. We were having sex all day, whatever. So the next day, um, Linda actually has off from work. So I'm like, cool, well, we can take her to the train station. So before we leave out to go to the train station, Amber's girlfriend is, well, no, they weren't even together. It's her ex girlfriend, but they were working on their relationship. She was blowing her phone up like, oh, you've been out there for how many days? How do you know this girl? She doesn't know anything about me. She doesn't know who I am or anything, and that's completely fine. So what we did was we had Linda call Amber's ex-girlfriend, whom she was trying to work a relationship out with. And we had her tell the ex-girlfriend that nothing was going on and that, Amber was on her way home. I got my girlfriend to lie without knowing that she was lying to my ex-girlfriend's ex-girlfriend. I don't even know what to say about that. That's some shit within itself. But it happened. It's real. The shit happened. Um, that situation was ridiculous within itself, but when it ends, whatever. I'm still stuck in purgatory with my girlfriend because, she's still not hearing me. Like I want this from you. Like, I want attention from you. Like, why do you always have to be gone? Why do you always have to disappear? And, I would get mad at her and she would go out and she would buy me stuff to appease me and I would be happy for the moment, but I would go back to being sad. Always going back to being sad. So, one day, I'm outside in the gazebo in the middle of the courtyard smoking a cigarette. Now, I used to smoke back then. I quit, but back then I used to smoke. And to the gazebo with me. And I'm not really paying attention. And then I decided to look up and she's like, do you have a light? Sure, I have a light. So I give it a light and she lights her cigarette and she's just like, you live out here? And I was like, yeah. And she was just like, you're really pretty. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Aren't you sweet? Turns out she was the cable guy. And she was at the complex hooking somebody's cable up and it was going to take a while and she was taking a break and, I was talking to her. I'm pretty sure she can tell that her compliments had me fucking smitten. Because they did. I was blushing all over the place. She asked me for a glass of water. And I was like, you can take your ass next door to 7-Eleven. Because I'm not giving you anything. And I'll never forget. She was like, oh, mommy, why you gotta be like that? And I was like, be like what? Blushing hard as fuck because she called me mommy. She knew that I was attracted to her. She knew that I was interested in her. Not really interested in her because I didn't know her, but interested in probably getting to know her. So she took advantage of that situation. We'll call her Nia. So Nia was just like, you seem like you're real cool and down to earth and everything, Here, let me give you my number. I was like, okay. So she gave me her number, but I didn't use it. I ended up seeing her again and she was just like, yo, you never used my number. And I'm like, listen, I got enough going on here. I have a girlfriend, just to let you know. And I can't. I can't. So she was just like, listen, I got a girlfriend. We've been together for such and such years. Like, I love her. I would never cheat on her. I just, want to be cool. You seem like you're down to earth. That was her way in. Saying that she wanted to be friends, that was how she got me. So she was like, "Here, give me your number." And I'm like, "Okay." So I gave her my number and she called me later on that day. And then she called me the next day. And she called me the next day. And she called me the next day. And we didn't have any conversation out of the ordinary. There was nothing romantic about the conversation that we would have. It was just regular conversations. And I was cool with it. I was fine with it. I was still battling my bullshit with my girlfriend, but I actually had somebody that I can consistently talk to. And I think she knew that. She would be like, "You're up here like a fucking Stepford wife." And I would be like, "Yo, whatever, whatever." But it was true. I didn't have a life outside of my girlfriend. And my girlfriend life was basically her job. So I just didn't have a fucking life at all. Um, One morning she calls me first thing in the morning and she was just like, "I want to see you." And I was like, "No." She was just like, "Why not?" And I was like, "Because I can't see you." She knew that I was attracted to her and she wouldn't stop at all. This was a bit different though from Judy. I think because I didn't have feelings for Judy and I actually started to like this girl, that's why I allowed myself to get into these situations. So she kept saying that she wanted to see me. And then one morning she calls me and I'm like, "Hello." And she was just like, "Listen, I have to be to work in an hour and a half. I'm about 20 minutes away from you. Let me see you." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "I'm 20 minutes away." And I was like, "Wow." And so she came over. Nothing happened between us. She just wanted to see me. And of course, she was giving me compliments, telling me that I was beautiful and this, that, and the third. But she also maintained the fact that she had a girlfriend. She let it be known over and over again. Completely fine. You shouldn't even be here at all. But she came back. And she would tell me, "Because I'm coming up here so early to spend a couple hours with you before I go to work, I don't eat breakfast. Do you think if I went out and brought the food, you could make me breakfast?" So I'm like, "Okay." So that's what I would do. She would buy the food and I would make her breakfast. Mind you, my girlfriend would be at work, so she would never know any of this stuff was going on. This girl was here like every other fucking day. She would be here all the time. Oh my God, she would be there all the time. And every time she would come over and I would make her breakfast and we would talk and we would laugh. And then she would go to work and that was it. It was like a relief because I had somebody that was tangible, like somebody in front of me that was consistent. Not just on the phone, but just literally in front of me that was consistent. Um, from there, we're moving past the summertime into the fall. And I'm just enjoying getting to know her. We did not have sex, but what I will say is that one day she came over and we were talking, and I was just like, sometimes the first kiss to me makes me nervous because you never know if a person likes the way you kiss. You never know if you like the way they kiss. What if your teeth touch? It's so much that goes into a first kiss. And she was just like, "Yeah, I understand, but sometimes you just gotta wing it." And I was like, "But I just can't get that thought out of my head." She was just like, "Well, why don't you try? And I was like, well, what do you mean? She was just like, I want to kiss you. And I'm like, no, 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 no. She was like, just one kiss, just one. So once again, here I am in my girlfriend's living room with another woman about to get myself into some bullshit. And I was like, fine, let's wing it. Don't look at me. I don't want you to look at me because you're going to make it awkward. And she was like, well, what do you want me to do? So I went to the room and I got a scarf and I blindfolded her. And she was like, really? And I was like, if you want your kiss, you got to wear a blindfold. And she was like, I want the kiss. So I put the blindfold on her. And I put my hands on both sides of her face. And I laid in gently. And I kissed her. And we made out for a while. But I maintained that I wasn't sleeping with her. Okay, we kissed. You got your kiss. I'm not sleeping with you. Please understand that. She was like, that's fine by me. I'm not here to sleep with you. But I am attracted to you. And I've been wanting to kiss you so bad. And I was like, okay, you got it. Fine. So this still continues. She's still coming over. We're still busting it up. We're not kissing or anything else like that, but, you know, we're enjoying each other's company. Now, around Halloween time, I had joined this house called the House of Exceptional on the premises that I would be walking face for the house. But I had already known a couple of members that was already in the house, and the house approached me. I didn't approach them. I still had to go through an application process, and I still had to be interviewed, and you know, it worked out. They accepted me in, and they became my family. They became my home away from home. Well, I was in the house for a little bit, and we were having a Halloween party. So here my little spoiled ass go, running to my girlfriend. Babe, we're having a Halloween party at the house, and I need a costume. And she was like, well, how much is the costume you want? And I was like, $75. And she was like, no, I'm not spending $75 on something that you're going to wear one time and one time only. You're going to wear it or you're going to throw it out. And I'm like, but why? Let me just get the $75. Why not? She kept saying no. So I called my friend, Leah. And I'm like, hey girl, my girlfriend is being a jerk. She doesn't want to give me money for my Halloween costume. Can you? And she was like, all right. I give you the money for your costume. One promise. And I was like, what? She was like, the night of the party, I have an occasion to go to. But I want to see you in your costume. So I'm just going to stop past for 20 minutes and, you know, we'll chill and, you know, bust it up. I'm like, all right, cool. Cha-ching. Well, what happens? My girlfriend turns around and she's like, oh, babe, I paid for your costume. It's on its way in the mail. You'll have it well ahead of the party. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I took the extra money that Nia gave me and I put it towards the party. So, you know, more liquor, party favors, candy, food, whatever. That's what the money went towards. The night of the party, you know, my girlfriend dropped me off and I'm excited because, you know, we about to turn the fuck up. We have been advertising this party for a really, really long time, so we expected the turnout to be amazing. And it was. It was so many people there. It was so much fun. I'm drunk though, and I shouldn't be drunk. Them Jello shots was strong as fuck, and they had me on my ass. They didn't have me on my ass, but they had my words slurring. So I'm inside the party, and I hear, oh, and I'm like, what is going on? Why is everybody crowding outside? Like, the party's in here. So I go to the door, and the crowd is out at the door, and I push through, and I see her. She's dressed up all nice. Her hair looks nice. She has a cup in her hand. I can tell that she was drinking, but I just got excited to see her. I got really excited to see her. So I walked over to her and she was like, damn, you look incredible. And I'm like, so do you. And she was like, I brought this for you. And I looked in the cup. It was this big styrofoam cup. And there was liquor and fruit in it. And she was just like, it's a really girly drink, so I wanted to bring it to you. I had the bartender put it in this styrofoam cup. And I'm like, you brought me a drink? And she was just like, yeah. So then when we get to the door, they're like, you know, you gotta pay. So they tell her the price. She was like, well, this is what I'll do. I'll pay for myself and the next 4 people getting in. So she gave them the money and she took care of it. And I was like, you big balling Neil? Is that what you doing? You trying to spend some goo wop? What you doing? She was like, don't even worry about it. That's light work. And I was like, oh, okay. So we were talking and we started dancing and we got close. We got closer, and then right on the dance floor with everybody around us, laughing and joking and having a great time, we started making out. Right there on the dance floor. And I remember like thinking this is wrong, but it feels right. And once again, I'm sucked into wanting attention that I'm not getting at home. So I'm allowing myself to be in a situation that I know is not right, yet I still do it. This is problematic, but fuck it. I'm gonna throw caution to the wind. And then I decided to take it a step further. So I'm like, do you want to go somewhere private? She's like, yeah. So we're going and we're checking all the rooms and there's people everywhere. Oh my God. The only place we can go to be private was where? The bathroom. So I take her into the bathroom. And we have sex in the bathroom. Hoish? Very much so. Very, very much so. But it happened and that's my life. And I remember my best friend calling me and I was like, I can't answer it, but I need to because she probably needs directions of where to go. And she was like, it's fine, I'll handle it. So she picks up my phone. And she was just like, hey, this is such and such. Now my best friend had heard about her, so she knew exactly who she was. And she was like, oh, hey, what's up? You know, is Marquita around? She was like, she's kind of busy right now, but, you know, I got you. I'm in the background, moaning, with my fucking knees up to the ceiling. And I'm trying to keep quiet. And my best friend is like, is that Marquita? Is she okay? She's like, yeah, yeah, she's fine. All right, gotta go. Hangs up. So my best friend comes, and it's a line outside the fucking bathroom, and finally we finish what we're doing. And we go back to the party. But not for long. Feel free to keep up with me on Instagram at Mixed Butterfly and on Snapchat at An Apple from Eve. And don't forget to check out the description box underneath this video for link and details for the Lipstick Lesbian's new Facebook page.